And we're live.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Reggie with RTJR Productions, and today we'll be filming another episode of ScreenFax. On this topic, we'll be discussing police brutality and how it's affected our nation for many years. This is going to be a special episode because all my other episodes have been previously recorded, but since there's so many crazy events going on right now with the George Floyd murder, all the riots, I got to talk about this now. So I'm going to introduce two of my special guests. I got Cody Jones, who went to Ohio State, and another friend of mine, Kat Barcombe from Shawnee State. So what's up, guys? How you guys feeling today?
I'm good.
Yeah, me too. Ready to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to tell me some more about yourself, or tell my audience, where you went to school at, your career, aspirations, goals.
Doesn't matter. Ladies first. I'll let Kat start us off.
Okay, so my name is Kat Barcombe. I am currently attending Shawnee State University, and I am majoring in early childhood special education. I have a minor in sociology, or I will once I actually get my degree, but what was the other question? Current career aspirations, I want to be a teacher, but later down the line, I am looking at potentially doing like becoming a professor, getting a master's in English, and I also am kind of looking into social activism too, so
Nice.
That's something else. Yeah, that's right, that's the full extent of the questions.
Yeah, my name's Cody. Originally from Lima, Ohio. And crazy enough, Kat, I actually went to high school at Shawnee High School.
No,
Yeah, so that was the name of my high school. Small city. Well, kind of small city. As Reggie said, graduated from OSU. Graduated OSU in 18. Currently, with a finance degree, my apologies, financial planning. Currently work as an insurance analyst. Ooh, yeah, exciting. With a well-known company. I'll just keep it at that. Long-term aspirations is to own my own financial firm and be actively involved in the community very, very heavily. Yeah,
So let's talk about this, guys. It's 2020. Like, why are we still seeing so much police brutality? Like, why are we still seeing cases like this on the news? Like, why are we seeing cops still killing people? What's going on?
I feel like this is a question that's not necessarily just going to be one answer per se. Like, I feel like it's a systematic thing that's been around for a while that just has made bounds, right? We've seen it come. It makes, like, I like to see it like this. It makes gradual progression, because when we started, we weren't seen as anything, right? We were seen as property per se, and then it's like a graph, right? Like it gradually went up, and then we got some more rights, right? And then we had a little more protesting and civil rights going on, and then we got more, right? And now we're here. We're still going to see issues going on per se, right? And definitely not isolated, which I see a lot of people say. Definitely not isolated. Don't agree with that. But I think it's just a way of thought, right? We're literally walk around. A skin color is a target, right? And the way that they see us, it's a target. Like, we're literally walk around as a target, right? So that's what I really think it is. It's just a way that people are thinking currently that needs to change. Like, we shouldn't be seen as targets. You should get to know somebody before you judge them. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think the root of it is.
So you think pretty much it's an established mindset from childhood or from what they've been taught, and then it's just assuming that this person is going to be a criminal or just a bad person. It's just that natural assumption, pretty much.
Right. Like, I mean, and I won't say that everybody thinks like this, right? Like, I put a statement out on Facebook the other day. I said that I feel now is not going to be a time of black and white. It's going to be a time of people showing their true colors, right? Like, it's not, this isn't a black or white thing. This is you showing me how you truly feel inside. And if you truly feel racist inside, this is when people are going to start to act out. This is the time that they're going to be like, well, I don't think you deserve this, or bleep this and bleep that, because, like, this will be the time. We see it on both sides as well.
So your point leads me exactly to something that I have been thinking about. So I think something else that I like really want to mention with this, it is crazy to look at the parallels that exist between previous murders that have happened to Black men and women in the last decade to present day. You literally have Eric Garner in 2014, exact same last words as George Floyd this year. You have Breonna Taylor, who I think is it Dominique Clayton, I think, was also murdered in her bed. Like, it's these like mirrors, right? And so there's just this like sense of familiarity that people have with this consistent misuse of power. And I think like a part of it, this is in no way like the main part of it, is that because of that familiarity and that consistency, I think that white people in particular are desensitized to it in a way of like, they like are able to compartmentalize it. Whereas I don't think that the Black community is able to compartmentalize it that way, because so much of the relationship that the Black community and the police force in the United States has established from history, beginning point, is a personal one where you are basing your feelings and your perspective and your perception of that from personal experience.
Right.
Every friend that I have of color has an experience with a police officer that they can cite, like, this has happened to me before, I relate to that shit, like, that's real. And so I also think it would be like remiss of us not to talk about how the current modern system, like the criminal justice system, is racist systemically. And that's why I think at the root we're seeing still this police violence, because, you know, you talk to people who have a different perception of it, who disagree, who are like actively trying to silence the Black Lives Matter movement, and you bring up systemic racism with them, and they will take it as an accusation, like, oh, you mean like everybody's racist in the system, that's BS. But when you're looking at systemic racism, that's not what it is. Systemic racism is looking at the current criminal justice system and saying there are currently systems working within this system and institutions in this system that for decades, centuries, have been actively working, designed, and applied to limit the Black community, right? So like that, the current criminal justice system, so much of it was designed in the Jim Crow era. Like, it's not a surprise to me that there's like kind of a, what's the word, like a rollover from that, because not a lot of it has changed. Like, it's been less than 100 years since that shit was outlawed, so it's not really a surprise that like that's still a very real threat, because the system is still actively limiting Black people.
Right.
I was going to go back to the point that you said about it being a culture, and it actually brings me to the next question. So not even just with police, but you see people that are regular citizens that have killed Black people. You see the Trayvon Martin incident, you see Ahmaud Arbery, like, and you see not even just towards Blacks, but then you see large-scale terrorist events like the Las Vegas shooting. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't say this is isolated, and you can't just target one institution. It's everything. It's everywhere. That's the problem. Is that like you want to, like, the whole police thing? Like, there's good and bad cops. We all know that, right? Like, there's good in white people. There's good in Black. There's good and bad in everything, right? Like, there's a balance to life, right? Like, we can't sit and say that one whole thing is bad, even though majority of it might be bad in some cases of some things we're talking about, but like not everything may be bad about it. So it's everywhere, right? Like I said, I get it walking down the street. I'm sure you probably got it somewhere else. And even in the slightest comments, oh, it's because you're this. Oh, it's because you're that. Probably because this happened. Are you sure?
Like, you didn't have to say that. Like, you know what I mean?
Are you sure that really, come on, bro. Like, you're stupid. Like, I don't have time for this. So, you know, like, that you have to target a mindset if you want things to change. You have to target a mindset. So,
and I think also to like tying into that, I think that there are like a lot of people who have this perspective that, oh, well, you know, and it's this good cop, there are good cops out there mentality of like, oh, well, their intentions are positive, so they aren't affected by the racism of the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's false. Like, you are, regardless of your intention, you are working in a set of systems. I read this quote, it referred to it as pulleys and levers that are creating a distinctly different outcome racially. And it doesn't matter how you feel about it. It doesn't matter if you're acknowledging it. If you're not actively working to change the system, then, you know, the intention is irrelevant at that point. Like, you're still affected by it. You're still affecting other people by it. It doesn't, you know.
And it's because of this broken system that you see people, like going back to what I was saying before, people that are not even police officers that are able to kill an innocent person walking down the street and not face any jail time. That's why, like, I feel like we've made a little bit of progress with, you know, the Ahmaud Arbery case. You know, the 2 men have been convicted so far, but like, I mean, the Trayvon Martin thing happened when I was in high school, and that still sticks with me. And you know, the fact that George Zimmerman's walking around these days, and he, you know, it's even been instances on social media where he's even been like talking trash to people, and like that's just infuriating to me. And it's just, I don't know what. I mean, I know that I'm glad that the riots are happening. I'm glad that the things are happening that are pushing the issue, but I don't know what can really be done to enforce all of, like, not just police, because obviously, you know, when the police officer does something, someone's going to be filming because you see the cars, like, it's naturally going to draw attention there, but you don't know what's happening down the street in a neighborhood that no one's around. You know what I mean? So I just don't know how to like instill that, not necessarily instill fear into people that if you do this, but in a way, like, hey, there's consequences for doing these things. You know what I mean? I just don't know what needs to be done to help govern that. You know what I mean? What's not in the spotlight. That's pretty much what I'm getting at on that. With riots happening all over the country, like literally every city, even in Ohio, Columbus, Cincinnati, is this the best way to go about proving a point to the government? And if so, why should there even be a surprise from the other side? Like, what do you guys feel about that?
This is a tough one, like, because like the hate, like not hate, but the anger and the frustration in me wants to say like, burn it down, like just burn it down. But I feel like you have to be level-headed about things like this, and you like we needed to make a point. Like, this has gone for too long. It needs to change. I feel like we shouldn't be continuing the looting and rioting, but we should be continuing organized protest, right? Things should be organized. If things get chaotic, they get chaotic, but it should lead first with good intentions, right? And it should be, the key is organized, right? You can't just be setting fire to these small businesses, right? If you want to do some real damage, target a place, right? It's like, I feel like right now, like a riot would be like this, similar to like a kid throwing a temper tantrum, right? Like you're crying and stuff because you want what you want. But if a kid, like, then kids get smart and they be like, they try and how you say, what do you call when you like, you try and, what's the word? Manipulate. Yeah, when you're trying to manipulate your parent to get them to get what you want. Like, I want that cookie. You know what I'm saying? That's when you get smart about how you're moving. Maybe the analogy towards a kid was a little disrespectful by no means, and I mean that, but like, I feel like that was the best way to like try and explain it just on like a simplified level, because that is what it is. Like, we need to have organized protests. We need to have organized movements. We need to target something and go and attack it. You know what I'm saying? If it comes to violence, it comes to violence, right? I don't think it should be all peaceful, because they have not been peaceful on their end, right? I think that some of this stuff requires violence. That's why I said I feel like this is a great start. Now it's time to really hone in and mess some stuff up. Shoot, like, you know, like if it comes down, mess some stuff up. Like, for real, burn it down. I I don't know if y'all heard the song by Bob Marley, "Burning and Looting," but you should listen to that. Like, you definitely
Was
should.
that written in the 60s?
I don't know. It's been a long time. I don't know.
I'm about to look this shit up. Hold on.
Yeah, he says, you know, he says, burn it to the ground, and look at the lyrics, and you'll understand why I said that song, because it's powerful. Like, and there's something to it. Like, you have to show this, that we're not scared and we're not afraid. Like, you have to show that we do hold power. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just run over us as if we're minuscule. You can't keep disrespecting us. You can't keep seeing us as targets. That goes, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not, we should never be a target, right? Like, it's funny to me that this is the craziest thing. Like, when we see these quote unquote isolated incidents of police shooting individuals, and then when we start to march together with these protests and riots, what do? They went from bullets to stuff that doesn't kill you. How all of a sudden can you switch to something that to restrain somebody? You somehow show this level of restraint when we start to organize and we start to get rowdy. But when it's one individual, you want to execute this individual. You know what I'm saying? That's weird, isn't it? Like, how do you show so much, like, you so much control all of a sudden? Like, we see the pictures of, like, some of these innocent bystanders get shot with, like, wooden bullet, or I believe they're wooden, right?
I think they're
like, what are they?
they're glass bullets, I think.
Rubber.
Rubber.
They're rubber.
Some wooden and some rubber. But, like, all of a sudden you can show this level of control and just to get somebody to calm down. You know what I'm saying? Where was all that at all these times?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Why do you need 3 men on one individual? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's crazy. You know, it's backwards. It's really, really backwards.
Yep.
I don't know.
That's a good point you made, man. Like, and I feel like, to finish off what you were saying, that the reason why they're so careful is because they know everyone's watching. They know it's a large crowd. They know we can't like kill someone on national TV. They know that CNN's there, like, you know it. And that's the biggest thing. I feel like the biggest solution is you have to constantly have eyes on these people. You know what I mean? It's a system of accountability. You know, if you know, man, I gotta. And I'm not saying if you're a police officer, you can't. You're gonna run into people that are gonna, like, you know, talk crazy to you. It's gonna happen. It's a dangerous job, but it also has to be a sense of, I can't go too far unless I have to. Like, it has to be a sense of accountability of, if I do go too far, I might get fired and go to jail. Like, that's what has to be established. But
that's the problem, though, is that whole I could get fired and go to jail thing hasn't been a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it hasn't been that they felt protected.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to be able to do things like this and get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, it's just there's too much leniency. Like, you can't tell me that. And another thing is, like, this whole, like, I don't know if we talk about it later, but, like, how they coined the phrase black on black crime. That's not, black on black crime is not a thing. That, like, get out of here. It's just a crime. Like, that doesn't mean anything. But, like, when you tell me that you have a trained individual, right? That's why, like, people in the military, they have rules, like, when they cannot put their hands on a citizen because they're trained in combat, right? Same thing with a police officer. You have a trained individual who's taught things to keep you from having to take somebody's life and be even able to restrain them, but you still see so many incidents of people are dying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Getting quote unquote, you know, executed. Like, I will coin, like, they're literally executing people. Mm-hmm. You know, so I just think that's crazy. Like, I don't see how it's just such a backward way of things occurring. Like, they target the individual who is not trained and be like, oh, you're so bad, you so do this. It's because you guys doing this and that other. But then you talk about a trained individual person and, like, it's justified. Like, but you see him doing something that's unjustified. You're justifying the unjustifiable.
I think that, well, okay, so, like, overwhelmingly, we're, like, seeing young people people our age and younger involved in the riots and the protests. I mean, there are definitely people older too. I think a lot of the people who are older are the ones organizing, but it's a lot of like grassroots movements, and I think that's mainly because there's kind of this collective sense that leadership in our country has taken our country in a very dangerous direction. And I think the other thing too, like, so it's kind of like a mix, right, of protesters who have all these signs and these slogans and they're crying and lashing out, but you also then have a little bit of looting. And I think that goes hand in hand. Economic inequality goes hand in hand with racial inequality. So that's where I think that source is coming from, in that it's a retaliation against the system that has been established since the early 20th century to limit the Black community.
As you guys know, that now that all 4 officers have been arrested and charged, do you feel that, like, is that the final step? Or not final step, I guess, but do you feel like this will help simmer down maybe the riots and the protesting? Or, like, what else does the government need to do? Like I said, like, what do they need to do with the justice system? What steps do you think need to be taken in order to improve the situation in general? Like, because, I mean, yeah, the people got what they want. You got 4 cops arrested now, but how are you gonna stop future instances? You know what I'm saying? So
is that this is like, if they give us something, they're going to try and throw out a bone to us. They're going to try and give us a little treat and then try and like smooth it over and be like, okay, let's die them down and maybe they won't act out anymore. Like, no, like I feel like if we take that, then we're taking the bait, and then we're going to be back in the same case. What I think would really cause or would really change some things, if you saw a shift in focus, right? Like, if we saw like a little more of an internal shift by the government towards changing the root of a situation and why things have been so bad for a culture or a society, then maybe you would see this not occurring, right? So if you put and invested money into helping improve the school system, helping train these officers to not use force if they don't have to, and putting money towards making sure if they do use force, it's no ifs, ands, or buts, it's black and white, because we trained you to do this. You're getting charged. This is the repercussion. You're gonna get some kind of fine. People get fined in the NBA for accidentally hitting a fan or something. I don't know if like actually hit a fan or something, but they get like 10 grand fines for like the stupidest stuff. So you're telling me you can't fine a police officer for not acting accordingly after getting the proper training and getting paid a pretty nice amount of money compared to the regular citizen and having a nice retirement and, you know, still getting a pension. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's weird how you don't have a nice saying, if you do this, this is gonna happen, right? Where's that at? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just gonna lean on the training we gave them and hey, you do good, bud. All right, you know, like. So
stay safe out there.
Stay safe out there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there should be set, you know, ramifications if you act out of line after getting this training. You do such. When you're in the military, what happens if you do some stupid stuff in the military? You get kicked out, right? You get permanently barred. You know, like, so I just think it's funny how that's not in place during all this time and all these things occurring. You don't have some kind of thing, you know?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's some facts, man. What you think on it, Kat?
Okay, so you asked if like the police the police getting arrested and convicted is enough, right? That was basically the basis of the question. I think that, like, I think a lot of people are asking that question right now, and I think it's the wrong question to ask because I think it's refocusing the energy behind the movement that is currently taking place on an isolated incident. And I think it's like it takes away focus from the reality that this is not an isolated incident, and it goes back to what Cody was saying, which is that you have to address the source of the issue. And I don't think that our system currently is designed to do that because our system doesn't invest in social programs. And like a lot
What
of
do we invest in though?
firepower,
Right.
rubber bullets.
Let's go.
But like a lot of the issues that like these socioeconomic issues and these racial inequalities that are happening as a result of this system that's keeping people. So you have to like re-evaluate how the system functions, who it is serving, why it is serving them, who it is not serving, and what the people it's not serving need. And then how are you going to get them what they need from this new system that you have to reconstruct? Like, I don't think that we're going to be able to come back from this fully without deconstructing the system that we currently have in place and reinvesting in other areas. And the other, like, the cool thing about this time right now, I've been seeing articles pop up of different cities. Like, I think I saw something about Minneapolis actually looking at like completely pulling apart their current police system and police enforcement, or police force, and like pouring money into other areas of the community, reinvesting money in the Black community and in socioeconomically challenged communities to like uplift people who have currently been under the modern system oppressed. So that's like been a neat kind of side effect of all of this, but the problem is that it's not happening everywhere yet. And I don't think that like people are really going to rest easily until it is happening everywhere, because this is massive.
Agreed.
This is like the largest civil rights movement in the United States history. Like, what has happened is groundbreaking this year, but it hasn't broken through our broken system.
One thing I've noticed is that I think this is probably a little bit due to the whole COVID situation. We've been at home the entire time. But what this movement has done is it's really brought, especially our generation, because we're all on social media and we're all seeing everything and we're stuck at home having to watch this. I feel like it's really brought us a lot closer than what it than before, like COVID and everything. And because I'm seeing a lot of people on Instagram, Snapchat, like people that never posted, and I've been friends with these people for years. Like, they never posted anything in regards to social injustices, especially towards Black people. And now everyone's posting about it. And it's like, wow, this is really like, I mean, COVID is, it's a monster, but it's, in a way, I feel like us being trapped at home, it really has helped bring out what people, like, it's helped people understand, wow, like, this is what's really going on. Because like when you're out with your friends partying and you're out having a good time and living your life, you're not able to fully be absorbed in everything that's going on when you look on the phone.
Right.
And everything. And now
too many distractions.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this country is just a bunch of distractions.
I'm really glad you guys came onto the show. We talked about a lot of really good things. Hopefully the audience and my viewers are able to take a lot from this and keep pursuing this collective and united system that we're trying to create. And hopefully it gets there, man. But if you guys enjoyed the episode, like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll get back in contact with Cody or Kat, and I'll get the answers back to you. No matter what you do or where you're going, the camera's always rolling. See you guys next time.